Persona 5 is the best JRPG I've ever played, hands down. The stylistic visuals and music alone are enough to put it a cut above the rest. I would like to start by saying that I've played some of the Final Fantasy games, as well as other JRPGs like Hyperdimension Neptunia and the Kingdom Hearts series. Persona 5 was my first dive into this series, and boy, was it an impressive one. I'll be talking about the game in different segments so as to state the impact that each one had, culminating into the fantastic overall package that is Persona 5. Let's begin. The story, without spoiling too much, involves the main protagonist, Joker, getting wrapped up into some pretty nasty business, forcing him to move away and be placed under the supervision of a close family friend. After some trouble begins at his new school, he learns that he possesses the ability to travel to an alternate reality known as the Metaverse, where he and his gang of colorful companions dubbed themselves the Phantom Thieves. Overall, the game is very lengthy, with my playtime clocking in at just under 90 hours. This game has plenty for you. Immediately upon jumping in, you will notice that the game sports a very catchy soundtrack and score as you play. Two of my personal favorite songs were the battle theme, Last Surprise, and Beneath the Mask, which I can't state enough how much I adore. Why don't I show you what I mean?
Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for right. Where have you been? Been searching all along, confessing while alone.
The art style is up next. With flashy cartoony visuals at its side, this game stands out like a sore thumb. Upon even seeing the box art, there are even anime style cutscenes to break up the game, which are very well animated. The overall black and red theme of the game is very catchy as well. When navigating the menus, they even have transitions for every sub menu, always providing some eye candy, even when you're interacting with the game on a minimal level. The older Persona games use randomly generated dungeons, but in this game, all the main dungeons are handcrafted, giving each one a unique visual and gameplay feel. From the monster designs, to the various locations in the real world sections, to the dungeons, there's always something to see here. The gameplay here is akin to your traditional turn-based RPG. Your party can use basic attacks and special skills which consume SP. Also, like traditional JRPGs, items in this game are very important, as well as your gear. You can use items found while exploring dungeons or purchasing them from shops around the world. Each dungeon has a layout with several floors, where you are encouraged to use stealth to sneak up on enemies for preemptive attacks that provide you with an advantage in battle. The dungeons also have to be completed in a certain amount of days due to story reasons, which I will go into later. Here is where my one true gripe with the game came into play. While this isn't a stealth-focused game, the cover system to initiate these surprise attacks were a bit wonky, often prompting Joker to turn corners onto another piece of cover when I was actually intending to ambush an enemy. Not a huge gripe, I thought it was worth mentioning. In battle, your party members fight with personas, which has their own set of resistances and vulnerabilities. They also allow you to use special skills which play into the gameplay loop of trying to hit enemies with attacks they're weak to, giving you an extra turn to attack yourself. Joker can capture personas in battle and craft new ones entirely in a section of the game called the Velvet Room. This was one of my favorite parts of the game because it allowed you to craft the perfect persona with all of the abilities you like the most. Every dungeon has a final boss at the end that is thematic to the dungeon and forces you to use new tactics to take them down. There is also a section of the game that does use randomly generated floors called mementos, allowing you to take on side requests from people around the world and earn some extra XP and money. Joker's party consists mostly of his classmates who join in on the cause to stop corrupt adults and take on the mantle of a phantom thief. They also play into another big part of the game. When you're not scouring dungeons or mementos, You have to live Joker's day-to-day life as a student as you try to stay out of trouble. Your party members and other useful companions you meet throughout the game are available as confidants, and overall, the cast was very likable, with my favorite characters being Morgana, Ryuji, and An. You can talk to them and participate in activities in order to build your relationship with them in order to gain access to extra passive skills and actives you can use while in battle. You can also participate in extracurricular activities such as hitting the batting cages, studying at the library, and bathing at a sauna, among others, to raise your personal stats, which include guts, knowledge, charm, proficiency, and kindness. All of these systems work through a day management system where each activity you perform consumes a portion of your day and your night respectively. This management makes it so you have to pick and choose which activities and confidants you value the most based on the gameplay experience you seek. I thoroughly enjoyed this aspect of the game as it made the day-to-day management just as integral as the timed dungeons, making it so you're constantly involved in something. Overall, the systems at play and the wonderfully crafted dungeons made for a very compelling experience that sucked me in right from the beginning, and honestly, I didn't want it to end. Upon completing the game, I immediately exclaimed to my roommate, "This may be the best JRPG I've ever played." And to Atlas, the developer of the game, you did an incredible job, and I can't wait to play your future Persona games. Sincerely, a new wide-eyed fan. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you haven't played Persona 5 yet, or aren't a fan of JRPGs, I highly recommend it. I promise you won't be disappointed. Hell, I might even start up another playthrough. Until next time, guys. Peace.